Shalom, shalom. Before I get this lesson started, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Rakakwadash, and I'll give double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone, of whom I learned from, and a shalom to the hopefully elect men taking this truth to the four corners of the earth, bidding the elect spirits of Yahshua to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahushai. This is your brother Wadah with a quick report on just more collapsing of Mystery Babylon. We would have healed Babylon, but she cannot be healed. It's going into the student loans. I don't know how many of you brothers out there that are already awake have any connection to this student loan thing, trying to better yourself. But, all of us are in different levels. I personally am 53 years old. I never knew what I was going to do when I was going to school, man. I remember when I got locked up. I did 3.5 years on a 5-year sentence in Arizona for some bullshit that I got entangled in when I was 18. And I remember, I think the first month I was in prison, there was a night, I just sat down by like the baseball diamond. I was walking around. I remember it was nighttime, and I started to weep because the thought crossed my mind, I don't know what I'm going to do when I get out of prison, because I'm going to be considered a man, and I have no concept of a trade or a career, and my prison sentence is going to fly by. That's how easy my prison time was, that I had enough time to think about how quickly my time was going to fly by, and how scared I was to get out and have to look for a job. I remember that. And then, of course, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, he had mercy on me, and I went through a few years of working odd jobs, and then I got into sales, and sales led me into a bunch of different sales jobs, and then some of them were really fun, which then led me into the job that I have now, which I'm no longer in sales, but it was sales that got me the job. But I'm saying all that to say a lot of people in this country, I want to focus on the Edomites, that they're seeing that their own people have fed them a lie, man. The American dream was a lie. The American experiment was all it was. It was an experiment. This country was never established to go on forever the way that we were told in movies, the way that we were told in churches, the way that we were told in work and business. Every lie that we were fed, how to be professional, how to be a member of a church, regardless of what the religion was. Everything that was indoctrinated into us from the television, it was all a fucking lie. And these Edomites are seeing the wicked side again of their own people. I know a lot of Jakes are caught up in this. I want to focus on the Edomites, because what does the precept say? He who is wicked to himself. He who is wicked to himself. Let's see it. He who is wicked to himself, or evil to himself. Yeah, he that is evil. So it's Sirach, Ecclesiasticus 14:5. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? He shall not take pleasure in his goods. Talking about the Edomites, the way he treats his own people. So of course he's gonna fucking come at Jake crazy, right? So this loan thing,
I went and logged in.
This student loan thing it's just gonna be another straw that breaks the camel's back, so to speak, to drive Esau into civil war, unrest, not listening to his princes, and fucking just chaos. Listen to this.
Keep posting about this all day because this is bullshit. I went and logged into my federal loan account, and this is what I found. I graduated in 2011 with $46,000 in student loan debt. My loan debt is now almost $90,000 fucking dollars. In that time, I've been a social worker that has made income-based repayments on my loan for years, and that shit has almost doubled. You want to know why people are pissed off about their student loans? It's not because we can't get anyone else to pay them for us. It is because you have set it up, but we can never pay them off ourselves. And then you sit here and tell us into our faces that we are lazy, this is somehow our fault, while cheering on banks and auto industries and Elon fucking Musk getting subsidies of millions of dollars a day. Anyone who still doesn't see that this is rigged against us can get fucked.
There you go. You have an educated woman, right? She did what she was told. She went to school. She did the work. She passed. She got a loan to pay for her schooling, and she was faithful with what she was given. She went out and she started her career, and as she was living out her career, she was making payments. She was making payments based off of her income. You heard her say it. Her fucking loan was for $50,000. That shit fucking doubled on that bitch, bro. Esau fucking doubled that shit. I don't know if this is a Jake, light-skinned as she looks. Fuck, now that I look at her, she could be Northern Kingdom, man. But I mean, she comes off of being an Edomite, and you can hear her anger, which is justifiable. Listen to this shit again, man.
Posting about this all day because this is bullshit. I went and logged into my federal loan account, and this is what I found. I graduated.
So she's showing you right there. That's what she owes. $83 fucking thousand. That's insane. The interest is $9,000. The principal, that's fucking crazy, bro. Total original amount awarded was $46,620. How in the fuck? Whew.
Graduated in 2011 with $46,000 in student loan debt. My loan debt is now almost $90,000 fucking dollars. In that time, I've been a social worker that has made income-based repayments on my loan.
Income-based payments on her loan.
For years, and that shit has almost doubled.
So 2011, 2021 is 10 years, 15 years. Fuck, bro. She's been paying on this thing for 15 years, and it fucking doubled. She's been giving them money, but it's been jumping up because of the fucking interest. That's insane, man.
You want to know why people are pissed off about their student loans? It's not because we can't get anyone else to pay them for us. It is because you have set it up, but we can never pay them off ourselves. And then you sit here and tell us into our faces that we are lazy, this is somehow our fault, while cheering on banks and auto industries and Elon fucking Musk getting subsidies of millions of dollars a day. Anyone who still doesn't see that this is rigged against us can get fucked.
And then now you go here.
More than 9 million student loan borrowers became past due on their payments once the pandemic pause and relief period expired. This is according to the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. It says about 9.7 million borrowers fell behind on payments by the end of September of last year when a relief period for borrowers expired. Now borrowers who are behind are seeing their credit scores drop. The Fed says a new student loan delinquency can cause a drop of more than 150%.
See, and you got to understand, these are students. These are people who know how to get a task, to finish the task. Their only problem was they weren't born with money. They're Edomites. I'm talking about the Edomites. They weren't born with the money that they needed to pay for the classes, to pay for the books, right? And however all that costs. And so they went into debt going to school. They passed. They got through school, right? And yet this is how Esau, this is how the elect, this is how the wicked elite, this is how the upper echelons, the Lucifer, the Chaldeans, right? The daughter of the Chaldees, the beauty of the Chaldees, the wicked top ruling class of Esau is treating their people. Why? Because America was never set up to go on forever. Let me see. Here's another.
In other news,
check this out.
the Trump administration has announced we will put an end to Joe Biden's illegal student loan bailout attempts. No student loan has been referred to collection since March of 2020. That comes to an end. On May 5th, the Department of Education will resume involuntary collections for borrowers with defaulted federal student loans. The student loan portfolio controlled by the federal government is nearly $1.6 trillion. But fewer than 4 out of 10 borrowers are in repayment. This is unsustainable, unfair, and a huge liability for American taxpayers. Debt cannot be wiped away. It just ends up getting transferred to others. So why should Americans who didn't go to college or went to college and responsibly paid back their loans pay for the student loans of other Americans?
And yet the actual government, the Edomites and the government will not pay their debts that they owe to the world. Now look at some of these comments, man. This is just 2 days ago. You get a loan payday, you get a loan, look at this asshole. You get a loan, you pay it. I love it. And then probably people talking shit. We found the uneducated. Nobody disputes that. It's the predatory lending that should be disputed. Unless it's a PPP or a big business bailout. See, and it's just all the hypocrisy. PPP loans were intended to be debt forgiven from the start and had to be used as payroll. That's how you got paid to stand ground at your Burger King job, stand around at your Burger King job during the pandemic when no one was eating out. See, it's just all the hypocrisy. Education should be free, right? Haha, billionaires wipe and swipe debt all the time. The rich going after the poor to get the money they don't have. Brilliant. And I mean, it's in this case, it's Esau. It's Amalek and Esau, right? Let's get the precept. When the wicked rule. When the wicked rule. And this is what it's, I mean, when the wicked rule. All this has to happen like this, right? We have to see how Esau runs a society. Proverbs 29:2, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Why? Because they do things according to the law, statutes, and commandments. Isn't there but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Let me find the law. Where's that law? In the law, the law to not cut the corners, to not reap. Let me see. Reap not the corners of your field, and you leave that for the widow. Leave not the corners of your field, and you leave that on purpose for the widow and for the orphan, so that they can start. Let me see. And when you reap the harvest of your and when you say Leviticus 19:9, and when you reap the harvest of your land, thou shalt not wholly reap the corners of thy field, neither shalt thou gather the gleaning of thy harvest. Why? Why do you do that? So look, here's the reason. Verse 10, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy field. Why? Because what was the field? That's a type of shadow. It's like the modern day. It's like what the stock market is today. And it's like the business investing, right? So how you seed time and harvest. You plant seeds and you harvest a field depending on whatever the crop is, whether it be grapes or trees. If you plant apple trees, once you get them trees going, it takes a couple of years for the trees to grow, but once they grow, year after year they yield a crop, and they yield a crop of fruit with more seed. And according to, if you follow Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai's plan for seed time and harvest, nobody would be poor. Everybody would have something. Verse 10, and thou shalt not glean thy vineyard, neither shalt thou gather every grape of thy vineyard. Thou shalt leave them for the poor and the stranger. I am Yahweh, your God, your power. So right here, if you leave fruit which has seeds in it, what could the poor and what could the stranger do? They could take the fruit, they could eat the fruit, but then they could hold on to the seed, and then they could sow seed one year, right? And start a little harvest themselves. And then once that harvest would grow, they could eat some of the fruit, sell some of the fruit, keep more seed, so the next year have a bigger harvest. They could come out of their situation based off of this law. Based off of how Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai ordered the children of Israel to conduct their fields within the nation of Israel, right? So you can see that this is not the case with Esau. Esau doesn't set that up. He sets it up. He sets everything up in traps. What you heard this girl say.
I'm gonna keep posting about this all day.
Right here. This shouldn't be going on. Her fucking loan shouldn't have doubled in fucking 11 years while she was making payments on it. But the way Amalek has shit set up, they do that interest shit. What's that called? Usury. And we're not supposed to do that. We're allowed to do that to the heathen nations, to the wicked, but we're not allowed to do that to ourselves.
This is bullshit. I went and logged into my federal loan account, and this is what I found. I graduated in 2011 with $46,000 in student loan debt. My loan debt is now almost $90,000 fucking dollars. In that time, I've been a social worker that has made income-based repayments on my loan for years, and that shit has almost doubled. You want to know why people are pissed off about their student loans? It's not because we can't get anyone else to pay them for us. It is because you have set it up where we can never pay them off ourselves.
See, her complaint is, I don't want you to fucking do it for me. I want to pay this shit off. But you motherfuckers put so much usury on this, I can't fucking even pay it off, and I want to. That's why she's so fucking mad, bro. And it goes back to this. It goes back to this. Esau not doing this. Esau not doing things according to the scriptures and then claiming to be the people of God. This is the controversy of Zion. This is why Yahweh Shai is coming back so fucking irate. How dare you motherfuckers claim to be the people? How dare you claim to be the people of the book, the people of my covenant, and yet you take my word in your mouth and you pervert it and you do all this fucking funky shit. You don't do nothing right. But this is the truth about who they are. Proverbs 29:2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. Why? Because we're doing things according to the law, statutes, and commandments correctly, like you saw in Leviticus. You don't glean the corners of your field. You purposely leave behind fruit and produce and seed in your field so that the widow and the orphan can go get them on purpose. You allow them. You leave it behind so that they can eat and then go sow their own seed, man, and start their own fields. So that maybe in a couple of years they're no longer widows and orphans, or at least not in a position of being an orphan and a poor widow. They can take care of themselves. That's what that's for. But Esau Edom doesn't do shit like this. All right, now let's jump into another prophecy, because this is just going to go into further. This is just going to add fire to the collapse. Super easy report. It's not going to be too long of a message. We would have healed her. And there's just no way it's not going to be healed. And this Jeremiah 50 and 51 is talking about America, you guys. I suggest you read both chapters in detail. It is talking about Mystery Babylon. It's talking about America. It's talking about North America. It's talking about America. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go, everyone, into his own country, for her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. And that's what's coming. And we're also going to be entering in shortly into Jacob's trouble. Okay? And then once Jacob's trouble hits, it's going to be 2 Ezra 15 and 16. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it. It is even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. They're going to implement the fucking digital currency. They're going to get everybody nice and cozy and, comfortable with that. And then they're going to turn off all the switches and say, now you got to get the mark. You have to get the RFID chip, the MOTB, in order to operate in the system. And that's when all this starts to jump off. And then you see some of the situations. Let me see. They shall not regard their princes. They shall not regard. And I'm going to be done. Just wanted to show just another, their princes. And the course of their powers and their action, course of their actions shall be in their power. So for there shall be, let me jump out and go all the way. Let's get some of this. Okay, so 15. Let's start at 15. Verse 2 Ezra 15. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and the people shall stand up and fight against another with swords in their hand. Okay, there goes your civil war, your unrest, just people fighting people. 2 Ezra 15:16. For there shall be seditions among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes. Why? Because of shit like that.
Then you sit here and tell us.
This is just one sliver of a whole bunch of fucking shit that Americans, Edomite Americans, Jake, are getting fed up with the rulership of this nation, which are the Edomites, and it's going to fucking eventually explode. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor their princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Right? A man shall desire to go to a city and shall not be able to. There goes the rulership bringing down martial law, making it worse. And 18, for because of the pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor. Why? But shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. That's what's coming, you guys.
To our faces that we are lazy. This is somehow.
Now, look, I'm not going to defend these people in the sense of, but what I want to point out is Listen to what she said now, and multiply this by at least 4 million, 3 million, okay? And then connect all their family members and friends. Listen to what she said, dude.
My loan debt is now almost $90,000 fucking dollars. In that time, I've been a social worker that has made income-based repayments on my loan for years, and that shit has almost doubled. You want to know why people are pissed off about their student loan?
Listen, what she says. This is the key part. Again, I'm not defending her, but what I will say is this is justifiable anger. This is a person who listened to what she was told her whole life. She applied the information that was given to her, and she was faithful with it. She passed. She went through school. She went to get a job to then come back and pay off who she borrowed from, which is a what's the word? A noble thing, but the system was never set up for her to pay it off. So in her nobility, or what I say, in her being as righteous as she could, the system was purposely set up wicked, because who set the system up? Lucifer did. The upper echelons, the 1%, the daughter of the Chaldeans, the rulership of her people, who are absolute scoundrels. They don't keep their word. Everything they say is a fucking lie. And again, I'm not saying that this person right here is super righteous. What I'm saying is she did, and there's millions of people like this, that they went to school, they did what they were told, they're coming back to pay off the loan, and they can't even fucking pay off the loan because the system never wanted them to pay it off. It wanted to keep them in perpetual bondage the rest of their life. And now these people are seeing this shit, and they're freaking the fuck out in rage, which is a right reaction. Listen to what she says.
It's not because we can't get anyone else to pay them for us. It is because you have set it up, but we can never pay them off ourselves.
She doesn't want someone. She doesn't want a handout. I don't want you to pay my fucking loan. I went into this knowing I was going to have to pay you back. I want to pay you back. You made it where I can't fucking pay you back. And now she's fucking pissed. Now multiply that. Again, like I said, multiply this student, this person, who is a daughter, who is a friend, who is a mother, who is a sister of other people, and now connect her trauma to all them. Everybody's seeing this shit, you guys. Just like they're seeing all the other weirdo things happening with fucking Esau. And it's gonna fucking eventually explode.
And then you sit here and tell us into our faces that we are lazy, this is somehow our fault, while cheering on
and they're doing the same thing on a small scale to their own Edomite underlings that they've done to us as Jakes the entire time we've been in America. Pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Slavery wasn't that bad. It was a long time ago. It wasn't my family that enslaved you. Oh, get over it. That same fucking gaslighting shit that what your people went through was not that big of a deal. Esau's doing that same shit on a smaller scale to these fucking students, man, that owe money. It's fucked up, man.
In auto industries and Elon fucking Musk getting subsidies of millions of dollars a day. Anyone who still doesn't see that this is rigged against us can get fucked.
In other news, so I'm in default. Okay, what's going to happen? So over the next 2 weeks, you're going to actually get an email from the Office of Federal Student Aid, and it's going to direct you to the default resolution group within this particular email. So I just checked out.
Look at the comments. The problem here is that the colleges rip kids off, charging more than 4 times with what the degree is worth. The president doesn't have to pay back loans. Why do a person making $50,000 a year have to? Trump should pay for his bankruptcies. Well, the fact that they laid off over 200,000 people, let's see how it goes. 5 years, all these people complaining, prove Charlie Kirk is right. College is a scam. See, a scam. What also is a scam? America, the whole Western Renaissance, Christianity, left, right, Democrat, fucking Republican, whole Edomite system was a scam. So I'm going to leave it at that. I pray that this lesson was a little edifying. It was a short one. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Rakadash, and double honors to the elders and the apostles of the great millstone of whom I learned from, and the Shalom. So I hope you like brothers taking this truth to the 4 corners of the earth, who is taking this truth to the 4 corners of the earth, Salakia. bidding the elect spirits of Yasharallah to the marriage supper of the Lamb, who is Yahweh Shai. This is your brother Radah. Shalom.